Hello everyone, let's continue our discussion on signal encoding technique, module 3 data communication. So part 8. So right now we are discussing digital data to analog signal conversion technique, and two of the techniques we already covered in part 6 and 7, that is amplitude shift keying and frequency shift keying. So now it's a time to discuss a third category, that is a phase shift keying. Okay, so where of course the phase of the carrier signal will be shifted to represent different binary information. Okay, so this is what we covered already. Amplitude, the original amplitude we are maintaining for 1 and we are making it absence of the amplitude for representing 0. Here original one of the frequency for one binary information and another frequency for another binary information. So high frequency, low frequency, like that. Here of course phase shift keying. So on phase the normal phase for representing one binary information, and just some other phase. So when it comes to binary, we just need two different phase values. So 0 phase shift or no phase shift, and 180, that is on a suitable combination we can have. So here the 0 is represented, suppose this is the original signal. So here the original signal is represented by normal signal with no phase. Actually signal will be starting, if you are taking like this, one is represented by a normal carrier signal, where 0, whenever 0 is coming, we are just shifting the phase to some 180 degrees. So shifting phase to 180 degrees is actually equivalent to multiplying the amplitude by -1, and that we will see. So that is why you are getting some kind of a reversed signal. Okay, similarly for 1 original, for 0 phase shifted signal, 180 degree shifted signal. Okay, so that is the idea of binary phase shift keying, where we are taking 180 degree as a phase shift, 0 degree 180 degree. So similarly you can think of multi-level phase shift keying, say a particular case quadrature phase shift keying, where 4 different phase you can take, like 0 say pi by 4, 90 degree, 180 degree, like that. Even quadrature and higher phase shift keying, they are also possible. Even differential, those techniques are coming here. So this is what we are focusing. So binary or the two-level phase shift keying, the phase of the carrier signal is shifted to represent the data in general. In phase will be shifted to represent the binary information in a typical phase shift keying and digital to analog signal conversion technique, modulation technique. The simplest scheme uses two phases to represent the two binary digits, and that is what is known as a binary phase shift keying. And the resulted transmitted signal for 1 bit time is can be represented like this. So for 1, the normal one, the normal carrier, that is A, cos 2 pi fct. So that is what we seen in the diagram. But when it is 0, we are just using the original one with the phase shifted to some pi value. Some pi is on 90 degree, right? Something like this. Now you know cos something plus pi is equivalent to minus of cos of that something, right? So with that trigonometric formulation, so that is why I told you, like shifting on 80 degree or pi is equivalent to multiplying the original signal amplitude by say -1. So that is why you are getting kind of reversed signal. So this is for representing 0. Again, this is a convention that is being followed in the textbook, but in reality you just want one combination for representing one binary information, another combination for another binary information. That could be anything. Okay, but what is followed at the center side should be agreed with the receiver. Then only the proper demodulation can be done for the modulator signal. So a phase shift of 180 degree, that is pi, is equivalent to flipping the sine wave or multiplying it by -1. Thus we got the rightmost expression above. Okay, so that is from the trigonometric property. Now differential PSK, hope you remember the differential encoding technique, that is what we discussed in digital data to digital signal encoding session, where we saw the non-return to 0 invert and the differential Manchester encoding. They are all coming under a category differential encoding. So whenever the term differential is coming, you should what should come into your mind, like current bit or binary information is represented with respect to the previous one. We are trying to differentiate the current one from the previous one. So that is how the encoding is done. So similarly here also, so this is as the name itself says, that differential phase shift keying, it's a kind of differential encoding is used in this modulation scheme. and that we will see. So we can relate it with what we learned already. An alternative form of two level, and this is again two level only because two different phases are used. Two level or binary phase shift keying is differential phase shift keying. In the scheme, a binary 0 is represented by sending a signal burst of the same phase as a previous signal burst. So whenever 0 is coming, the current information is 0, means we are just repeating the previous pattern. Okay, but when 1 is coming, we are just making that 1 or we are differentiating that 1 from the previous one. So that differentiation is actually applicable to 1 only, not for 0. So that is one way, or you can make this differentiation applicable to 0, not for 1. Both are fine. So a binary 1 is represented by sending a signal burst of opposite phase to the preceding one. This term differential refers to the fact that the phase shift is with reference to the previous transmitted signal or information rather than to some constant reference signal. So far we are referring with respect to some constant value, say FC, the original one for representing 0 and plus some pi for the other one, like that a fixed mapping pattern we are following. But here it is not like that, and there is no fixed reference. Simply our reference is our previous signal. So what happened to the previous signal, whether you want to differentiate our current signal from the previous one or not. So one of the binary information we are representing by making it different from the previous one, another one we are representing by making it same as the previous one. So that is how we can decode the information. So same thing the decoder can also apply. So in differential encoding, the information to be transmitted is represented in terms of the changes between successive data symbols rather than the signal elements itself. Okay, that it's a kind of relative encoding. Okay, differential encoding. You're trying to differentiate every current information with respect to the previous signal. So it will be very clear for you by seeing this example. See here, whenever a 0 is coming, we are just repeating the signal as it is before, say like this. We are just repeating the pattern. But when 1 is coming, just look at the previous pattern. So this is the previous pattern. Okay, what would be the previous pattern? Make this one, say 180 degrees shifted to the previous one. So this is the previous one. 180 degrees shifted means amplitude is multiplied by some -1. Just you are getting the shifted signal like this. Again, this is 1. Make it differentiated from the previous signal by giving with respect to the previous one, give a 180 degree shift. That is why with respect to the previous one, again it is getting inverted. But whenever 0 is coming, no need to give any differentiation with respect to, simply continue the signal as it is before. Okay, 1 is coming, make it shift it. 0, repeat as before. So repeat as before, repeat as before. So 1 is coming, just make it opposite. Okay, so that is the idea. So relatively we are encoding the signal, differential phase shift key. Now the next category, that is quadrature phase shift key. It's a particular kind of multi-level phase shifting. So already we saw binary or two-level phase shift key, and more than two, it's generally coming under the category multi-level phase shift key, and particularly that multiple level here it is taken as 4. That is why its name quadrature phase shift key. And more definitely when you are increasing say the number of levels, just like what we saw in binary phase shift keying and multiple frequency shift keying and MFSK, multiple level frequency shift keying. So as you increase the number of signal levels, per signal element the number of bits represented can be increased, and as a result the overall bandwidth of the transmission medium is utilized more efficiently. So more efficient use of the bandwidth can be achieved if each signal element represent more than 1 bit. So that is the idea. If 4 levels are there, per signal signal element, we can represent 2 bits instead of 1 bit. Okay. So instead of a phase shift of 180 degree in binary phase shift keying, a common encoding technique known as quadrature phase shift keying, instead of this 180 degree, when it comes to QPSK, we are using a phase shift that is being separated by 90 degree, because we need 4 combination, right? The previous case 0 and 180, that is fine, but here it is 90, means resulting in say plus pi by 4 plus 3 pi by 4, again minus 3 pi by 4 and minus pi by 4. So phase is shifted like pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, minus pi by 4 and minus 3 pi by 4 with respect to the current carrier signal. particularly representing a different combination like 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Okay, so that you can assign in any way, whatever be the pattern you are assigning for a given signal element or signal pattern, that is to be used by the receiver also to decode the information correctly. Okay, this mapping you can do in any way, but it is to be agreed with the receiver also. So this is a typical form of a quadrature phase shift keying signal. With the amplitude remains same, frequency FC remains same, only the phase varying with four different phase values. That is why the name quadrature phase shift key. Generalization of this is what is called as multi-level PSK. So instead of that 4 different phase value, here you can use more than 4 even. You can think of say 8 values, 16 values. The use of multiple levels can be extended beyond taking 2 bits at a time. You can take 3 bits at a time, resulting 8 level phase shift key. You can take 5 bits at a time, resulting 32 phase level phase shift key. Okay, so that is the idea. So more and more bits are even grouped, means more bandwidth utilization we are achieving with a cost of more complex circuit and cost. It is possible to transmit bits 3 at a time using 8 different phase angles. Further, so in the previous case we taken like a 0, 90 degree plus 90, like that we taken. So here accordingly it will be some pi by 4 like that if you want 8 combination. Further, each angle can be more than 1 amplitude also. So that is also another combination, but it is not specifically given in the syllabus. That is why I just mentioned only. Either you can have some in case of 8 different signal elements, 8 different phase you can use, or you can use say 2 different phase, with per phase you are using 4 different amplitude, something like that, or some other kind of combination. So you can change both phase and amplitude at the same time to make more levels. Okay, so that is the idea. For example, let us assume that the scheme is being employed with the digital input with a data rate of say R is equal to 1 by TB bits per second. So this is what we saw already, like if TB is a duration of a particular bit, that means the time taken to send a bit is TB, that is bit duration. For 1 bit we need TB seconds to transmit. Then how many bits can be transmitted per second? Okay, so for TB second I can send only 1 bit. So per second I can send 1 by TB bits per second. So that will be the data rate of a typical scheme being employed with the digital input with the data rate of this. So in this case, the encoded signal contains say L is equal to 4 bits in each signal element, using say M is equal to 16 different combination of the phase. So if you want, you can have you can group like 4 bits at a time, and each 4 bit combination you can assign a signal level, so that there will be some M is equal to 16 different signal levels we want, and which we are supposed to represent by 16 different combination of the phase. So that is one approach, 16 different combination of phase. And another approach is you can make this 16 different combination by having a mix of phase and amplitude. Okay, say we have some 8 different phases, and per phase we have 2 different amplitude, like so, like that you can have 16 combination. In any way you can take the combination in your own way, you can design it like that. So this is in general called quadrature amplitude modulation. Okay, so quadrature in the sense there are 4 phases. Amplitude means we are varying amplitude also, something like that. So it's a combination of both we are obtaining this by varying both phase and amplitude at the same time to get to say some 16 combination. What is our requirement, accordingly do it. So if we want 16 combination by varying both phase and amplitude, that is particularly called quadrature amplitude modulation. It's a typical one, but anyway it is not highlighted in your syllabus, so I didn't give much attention, simply I mentioned like this only. So the modulation rate can seen to be R by 4 because each change of signal element communicates 4 bits, right? So in the original case, without doing any multi-level or 4-level phase shift keying, not 4 level, in this example 16 level phase shift keying, we got r bits per second as a data rate, right? Now when it is 16 level phase shift keying, multiple phase shift keying, with a special case, number of signal elements to be 16, which we are obtained by phase alone, 16 different phases alone, or a combination of phase and amplitude, whatever it is. Anyway, we are now representing 16 different signal levels using the same bandwidth. So what is happening is, per signal level, previously we are representing only a single bit, but now per signal element you can represent 4 bits. Okay, so you are getting means some kind of 4 times data rate. Okay, or if you know modulation rate or baud rate, or how many times the signal is getting changed, is actually in this case both the baud rate and the bit rate, or both the modulation and bit rate, both are some r bits per second. But here if the bit rate is r bits per second, then the baud rate will be r by 4 of that, because 4 bits corresponds to one signal change. Okay, so because each change in the signal element communicates 4 bits. Or in other way, suppose we have a signaling speed of 2400 baud. Each baud or signal change corresponds to 4 bits, resulting in 9600 bits per second speed. So the data rate is increased for a given bandwidth, and this is how we are getting more bandwidth utilization. So this is the reason that higher bit rates are can be achieved over voice grid lines by employing more complex modulation schemes. So of course we got higher bit rate, that is fine, but on the background we have to use the same in this many 16 combinations, 16, that much consideration we have to give, right? So the overall modulation scheme will be more complex. So that about multi-level PSK, particularly the case where the number of levels is taken to be 16, is having typical application like this. Okay, so with this we can wind up our discussion on the general topic, that is digital data to analog signal. So what are the techniques, modulation techniques used for converting digital data to analog signal? Amplitude shift keying, frequency shift keying, and phase shift keying. Amplitude shift keying, we are varying the amplitude, like the presence or absence of the amplitude for different bits. Frequency shift keying, the frequency of the carrier signal is being modified, say high frequency, low frequency, or 2 different frequency. Phase shift keying, the phase of the carrier signal is being altered, or a combination of phase and amplitude, like that, anything you can think of. So anyway, and whether it is in both FSK and PSK, we have this multi-level FSK and PSK, which is providing more bandwidth utilization. Okay, so that about the discussion on digital data to analog signal conversion. So far we touched this digital data to digital conversion techniques and digital data to analog conversion techniques. So half of the module is over. Next we have the remaining 2 combinations, that is analog data to digital conversion and analog to analog conversion technique. So that we will see in the subsequent parts. Thank you.